Okay, we're going to continue with question number 4, solving equations whose degree is higher than 1. I'd like to go ahead and look at examples D and E on your test 3 review, so come on with me to my paper. All right, this is question number 4, part D. The equation is 5b squared equals 31b plus 28. And we're trying to solve this equation for b, obviously. An equation whose degree is 2 is also sometimes called a quadratic equation. And one method for solving a quadratic doesn't always work, but it's always a good method to try, is putting the equation in standard form. So I would have 5b squared minus 31b minus 28 is equal to 0, okay? Descending power order equals 0. I always like the leading coefficient to be positive, so in this case I make sure it is. So here's the deal. All right, let me write this a little bigger. 5b squared minus 31b minus 28 equals 0. And what I need to do now is I need to take this trinomial and factor it. I always look for a GCF. But in this particular case, the GCF is a 1, which really means not very helpful. But when I see trinomial, I try to write the problem as the product of two binomials. If it factors, we'll see. And again, you've been taught many different methods for factoring. I usually try to tell my students, look at the front, we know we need a 5b and a b. If the last sign is negative, one of these is positive and one's negative, you really don't know. The two numbers at the end multiply together to give me 28. And again, we have to try to play with different combinations. I've been factoring for so long, because I'm so old, that I'm good at it, which I should be. But you can get good at factoring too by just practicing it. The more time you spend with it, the quicker you get at seeing the right combination. I can see that if I put a negative 7 here and a positive 4 here, I'm cooking. Because 5b times negative 7 is a negative 35. 4 times b is a positive 4b. So negative 35b plus 4b is a negative 31b. So it works. But again, practice truly does make perfect. All right, when I was first learning math or learning how to factor, I wasn't a prodigy. It took time. So you need to put in the time to learn how to factor properly. If I have two things multiplied together to give me 0, either the first factor is equal to 0 or the second factor is equal to 0. If 5b plus 4 is 0, 5b is equal to a negative 4, therefore b is negative 4/5. This is one of my solutions. And if b minus 7 is 0, then b, of course, is equal to a positive 7. So I have two solutions to this quadratic equation, a negative 4/5 and a positive 7. When I look at part E, which is the equation 5x squared minus 15x equals 0, I have another equation whose degree is 2. Okay, this is degree 2, which is also called a quadratic equation. We want to make sure this equation is in standard form, which it is. Standard form means I have descending power order equaling 0, and my lead coefficient is positive. I factor this by taking out my GCF, and in this case my greatest common factor would be a 5x. In parens, I would have x minus 3. If two factors are multiplied together to give me 0, then by the zero factor property or zero factor principle, either the first factor is equal to 0 or the second factor is equal to 0. If 5x equals 0, when I divide by 5, 0 divided by 5 is 0, so that's one of my solutions. If x minus 3 is 0, x is equal to positive 3. So I have two solutions to this equation, 0 and 3. And one of the things I want you to notice on both of these problems, when the degree is 2, there are no more than two solutions. In this case, exactly 2 for each question, or each equation. Okay? Again, factoring becomes easier the more you do it. And another thing to watch out for when you're factoring, always remember to look for the GCF, the greatest common factor, to unlock that problem before you continue it. Thank you.